Hey everybody! So today we are going to talk about some things to never say to a DID system and what you should say instead. So let's start with number 1. Never say, "Why can't you be normal?" or any derivative thereof. First of all, it's rude, it's hurtful, and it's mean. And second of all, it's really inaccurate because being the way they are is normal. There is no one set, right, normal way to be. Everyone is different. So here's what you should say instead. I accept you for who you are. Or I love you for who you are, if you have that kind of relationship with them. Because the reality is, just like with anybody else, if you can't accept them for who they are, then you don't need them in your life. Number 2. Never say to somebody, "Don't be so dramatic." First of all, why would you say that to anybody you care about? I mean, that's just mean. And for a person or a DID system, that's just not okay. That system has been through trauma. They're not being dramatic. They're experiencing emotions, probably many of which are tied to that trauma, especially if you're talking to a system member who holds trauma. And they're not trying to get your attention or bother you, they're just trying to express how they feel, just like any other person, and they deserve to be validated. What you should say instead is, "I'm here for you." Okay? Tell them you care. Tell them that you're willing to listen, because that's all anybody really wants. Number 3. If you know one of the system members has struggles with self-harm, or they've struggled with an eating disorder, an addiction, anything like that, don't ask them, "How can you do that to yourself?" I mean, really, it's not something that they want to do. It's not something that they feel proud of for most people. It's something they do because it's the only way they know how to cope with the trauma, with the stress, with how hard things can be for lots of system members in a DID system. Be compassionate instead. So instead say, "How can I help you?" Ask them if they need anything. Ask them if they just need a listening ear. That's really all anybody ever wants, is someone to care. Number 4. If someone discloses DID, don't say, "Will one of your alters hurt and or murder me?" Because, as I stated in a previous video, that is based on a very harmful and very untrue myth about DID, and it's just really not a kind thing to say. It's not okay. It's not cool. Please, if you know someone has DID, learn a little bit about the disorder. So that brings me on to what you should say instead. Instead, say, "I don't really know a lot about that. Would you be willing to tell me more? Or should I go learn some more on my own? Or can you point me in the direction of some good places to get more information?" You know, be willing to learn. Be open. Don't expect to know everything right at the get-go about something that you've never experienced, especially because it's not a well-understood disorder. And number 5, if you have a problem with a specific system member, don't tell other system members that you don't like that person, or even worse, say to that specific system member that you don't like them. You're basically saying that you don't like the whole system by attacking that one system member, because the whole system exists to protect the entire system, not just one specific person, but they all exist to protect each other. So by saying you don't like that one system member, you're basically saying you don't like any of them. Instead, talk to that specific system member. Don't go behind their back. Don't try to talk to somebody else about it in the system. Speak to that system member and say, "Hey, What can we do to get along better? Because the reality is, they're probably not being unpleasant on purpose. It's probably a manifestation of their trauma. And if you two don't just get along at all, just accept that and be okay with it. You don't have to like everybody. There's nothing wrong with not liking someone, but it's never okay to be rude to anyone, especially someone who has been through an immense amount of trauma and really just needs your understanding. If you don't like them, just be polite. You don't have to be best friends. So I really hope everybody has enjoyed this video and that you've learned a lot. And just try to remember, when you're talking to a DID system, treat them the way that they want to be treated. Treat them with kindness, treat them with respect, and always remember, don't be a jerk. So if you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Everybody have a good day.